Welcome back, everyone, to the Skating Penguin Network recap show. It's your host, Robbie, joined by Snail on the other end. We have a pair of Penguins games to cover this on this episode. We have Tuesday night when they were in Philadelphia, and we have Thursday night when they were in Minnesota. But before we get into that, as always, we'll do a check-in with Snail, who's out in Seattle, to see how things are on the West Coast of the United States.
It's Halloween, man. It's my
It is.
favorite holiday. It's my favorite holiday. Last night we got like really in the mood. We watched the Halloween remake. Are you a horror movie guy, Robbie?
Not really, but I mean I've watched some, but I'm not. It's not my go-to
What
genre.
about when Halloween rolls around? Are you the type of guy that I'll throw on like an old classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, like anything like that?
I've watched the new, um, not like the recent Halloween movies.
Hmm.
The one with Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the second time, right?
yeah
Like
for the
the
second, yeah. Yeah, I've watched the newer the two. I think it's two new ones. I think. I've seen the originals as well.
right.
Um, Trying to think what else. I want to watch Sinners, which is kind of
Oh,
a
I've
horror.
heard that's good. Yeah, the
Yeah,
vampire one, right? But
yeah,
isn't it
that
isn't the actor's name Michael Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, and then there's a new Frankenstein movie coming to Netflix on November 7th, that I'm pretty excited about.
Oh,
Um,
dude, we should talk about that quick. That was supposed to be in theaters the last 2 months.
well,
Did you
yeah,
hear about that
it,
debacle?
it's in select theaters. I know that, but I don't know why it's not widespread. I'm really all the trailers look phenomenal, so I know it'll be after Halloween when it hits Netflix, but I'm so pumped to watch it.
I mean, Guillermo del Toro, he's the one who directs it.
Mhm.
He has some fantastic movies under his belt. You know what I mean? Like he's a great director. So I just feel like they could have really hit this out of the park, having this in more widespread
You
theaters
think?
instead of
You
just
think?
having it come out on streaming basically on November 7th. But anyways, yeah, man, got watched some horror movies last night. We carved pumpkins finally. I got to send over a picture of my pumpkins. It's classic jack-o'-lantern. And then you ever roast the sunflower, the pumpkin seeds? Like,
We have some. Yeah, we have some from this batch that we're going to be roasting up here probably this weekend. They had to dry out and stuff like that, but yeah, they'll be getting salted and roasted and
salted
uh,
and roasted. Just a great holiday, man. So it's cold out here. It got cold quick.
yeah.
It went from flannel weather to maybe layering up a bit. But how are things out there in your neck of the woods, man? Are you getting ready for kids to be knocking at your door?
We actually had trick or treat last night, so
Is that
we
like a community thing?
yeah,
Did they decide that? It's like, let's do
yeah.
things on Thursday.
Our I guess committee decides it for our area, and it's usually the Thursday before Thanksgiving. Um, and it was looking bleak for a while. It was raining all day yesterday, but
Hmm.
luckily at like 4 or 5 o'clock, it let up. It was a little misty, but kids were out. There's a big development up the road for me, which gets a bulk of the because you just go from house to house. It's so easy. I live on a main street, so a little more room between houses, a little busier street, and it's always pitch black this time of year. But yeah, last night was our trick or treat. Um, Good amount of kids were out hanging around. So
Are
yeah, it
you
was a
handing are you handing out full size candy bars or are
no.
you
We don't
mini
do this.
candy bars?
We do the we do a variety of smaller candy bars.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
classic.
I don't have the money to shell out for the full size.
Especially nowadays, take out a
Yeah,
second mortgage to hand
yeah,
out like 30 full size candy bars.
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. 30 wouldn't even be enough. I'd have to break them up probably. Um, no, yeah, we got a decent amount of kids last night, but pumpkins were carved the night before, 2 nights before. I can't remember exactly. Um,
Yeah, I like your Garrett pumpkin.
yeah, my carrot pumpkin. Yeah, snails. Snails the one uh, that called it that. But um, yeah, so no, it was last night. It's usually on Thursday night because there's other ones in the area ish on like Friday and Saturday that I think uh, parents take their kids to and stuff like that. So we just do ours in the middle or on the Thursday before Thanksgiving, when it's not quite as busy everywhere else, and kids get out, and then it's a good time.
It is a good time. It's a holiday for the kids, but I mean, honestly, like I'll eat this holiday. I mean, I'll eat it up until I'm old and gray. Like
Yeah,
it's right up my alley. But anyways, man, you want to hop into these games here, and I think we got two to cover. We haven't
we
talked
do.
since they played the
St. Louis
Flyers or
Blues.
the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, so they beat the St. Louis Blues Monday. We talked about that game, but on the very next night, first back to back of the season,
That's right.
they take the trip out to the east side of the state, out to Philadelphia, the first meeting of the Penguins and Flyers on the season, and for a second time in 3 nights, they battle back, they fight back, and they get it to overtime and eventually a shootout, but they fall in the shootout. The Flyers scored twice, the Penguins only scored once. But I think the bigger story out of this game is obviously one, Penguins fight back, get a point. Great story. That's 7 games at this point in a row. The Penguins have a point. But the most, I think, important part was the kind of reigniting of the Flyers Penguins rivalry. It was kind of, again, when the teams are both bad, it definitely takes some luster out of the out of the fire. It definitely dims the fire a little bit, dims the flames, because it's just not. Again, the hate is still kind of there, but when you're mixing in a bunch of new faces, it can really take a little time. Gone are Claude Giroux. Jeff Carter had been obviously gone for a while, but he was a big part of it early. But like the big name there was like Giroux had been there forever. Giroux and Crosby, all the talk, all the going back to the baton stuff back in the early 2010s. Crosby obviously stayed around and continued to torch the Flyers, but so many young new faces came into on both of these teams where the fire kind of died a little bit. But fast forward to 2025, and for the first time in what felt like a long time, there was actually some teeth to this rivalry. Both teams are kind of in the same position right now. Obviously, a lot of the characters are still there for the Penguins. Crosby, the forever enemy of Philadelphia, Malkin, Letang, like those guys are still there. But for the Flyers, like they don't have that rub of like a Giroux anymore. So
I mean, dude, it wasn't even just Giroux. Remember how much of a pain in the ass Scotty Hartnell was, and
Hartnell. Yeah,
Hartnell just seemed like one of those guys that I would just. God forbid you got like a haircut the night before you play them or something. He just seemed like he was like vicious with the chirping. Voracek was a pain in the ass too, man.
Dr. Voracek.
Yeah, that team was laden with just. I mean, dude, they had Gudis at one point too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did have Radko Gudas for a year or two. I can't remember exactly. There's been a bunch of guys that kind of were a thorn in the Penguins' side.
The Shen brothers, or one of the Shen brothers too, I believe. Wasn't it the guy on St. Louis?
I think they had both.
They might have had both at one point.
I know they had Braden.
They were just like a tough. They were like they were a tough team in the 2010s, man.
I mean, they still have Sean Couturier, who is a great two-way player. Doesn't feel like he ever really was a major player I think he came after the playoff series and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you get in there and you have who on the Flyers is going to be that rub, and especially in the Penguins too, because Crosby obviously is not going to be there forever, but he gets a goal in this game. They boo him every time he touches the puck, but he feeds right off that.
I know, it almost like it just helps him.
Yeah, it does. At this point, it just at this point, I think they just do it because it's like a natural instinct when they see Sidney Crosby as Sabu, whether or not it actually does anything besides light a fire under him. I don't know, but maybe the guy is going to ignite this a little bit on the Flyer side. Is going to be like a Trevor Zegras, who was getting.
Did not see that coming.
No, Zegras, again, a great skill player. Did not see him carrying that much of an edge. But hey, Giroux was a great skill guy, and he was the one that had a lot of edge too. Maybe he will be the new public enemy number one in Pittsburgh when it comes to the Flyers. But they needed something to get a spark back in this rivalry. And again, it was a very low stakes hockey game, a very tightly played hockey game. Artur Shilovs was absolutely fantastic in this game. It was really the only reason they got to a shootout to begin with. And again, we'll work on his shootout skills going forward. But yeah, he made a couple big saves in this one to just get it to overtime where the Penguins could get a point. But the Flyers, I don't really know. Again, you didn't hear much of Michkov in this game. They do have some guys that are prospects that are not in the NHL yet, that I think are going to be big contributors here in 2 or 3 years. But if this is the rebirth of this rivalry, I think that's best for the Penguins, the Flyers, and in the NHL, because it's just better when these games just mean a little bit more rather than just two bad teams skating around for 60 minutes.
Oh, dude, the interprovincial like rivalries, interstate rivalries. I mean, it's just so much better for the league. It's better for viewership. If you're a casual hockey fan, or if you're just a sports fan in general, you're on ESPN flicking around and you see Philly Pitt. I mean, in the 2010s, that was like must-watch TV. The 2000s, absolutely. You know, and I mean, going back even further, and actually more recently too, I feel like the Battle of Alberta kind of it goes into like hibernation for a long time, and then once it comes back, it's really potent for like 2 or 3 years, and then it goes away again. Because, you know, look at where Calgary is right now with Edmonton. But yeah, you've got the teams have to be kind of good for it to be like must-watch TV. If you're a fan of your team, you're always going to get up for a game where, you know, if you're a fan of the Islanders, they play the Rangers, you're always going to get up for that. Or like the what's it called? The one in California, Anaheim, LA, like that's there's always going to be some teeth in those, no matter how good the teams are.
Vegas,
but when
Vegas San Jose is kind of the same thing. Like, that's a great rivalry, but right now with San Jose not being good, it's tough to kind of get too into that if you're a casual. Like, I'm sure that those two fan bases don't like each other, but like the Penguins and Flyers, like, even the Penguins and Capitals, like that is still has a little bit, just because it's Crosby and Ovechkin every time. Like, there is that.
Oh yeah.
What happens when that those two guys go away? I don't know. And they haven't played in the playoffs in 7 years now against each other. Like, that is a huge component of that entire rivalry. They played like 15 times between 1990 and present day in the playoffs. Like, it's insane. Penguins Rangers is always a nasty one, but you need good hockey to get the casuals to tune in and enjoy it. And I definitely hope that's the direction which this is going.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. And this is what I was calling for, kind of like, this is kind of what I was basically begging for before they played, is you've got these young players, you've got the young upcoming guys on the Flyers, and then the Penguins as well. They've got these, you know, these are going to be the future Penguins for a long time. Guys like McGroarty, guys like Kindle, Brunicky, like these guys need to start. I mean, like I said, you have to play the Flyers hard, whether you're out of the playoffs or whether you're a good team, you might face them in the playoffs. Like, it's the rivalry. And we saw that, man. And like you said, Trevor Zegras, I did not TikTok hockey star moves to Philadelphia not even for a year yet. And he's trying to pull helmets off of guys. He's getting in scrums. So just shows you what moving to Philadelphia might do to you. But, honestly, did not see him as being the guy to be an instigator in all of this. And he better be careful, man, because I don't know Trevor Zegras is like, I mean, he played in Anaheim. I've always kind of seen him as a soft skill guy, but you go tugging on the helmet of a guy like Achari, who's built like a refrigerator. And I mean, look at the guy's nose. I mean, that guy's he's been through some things. Also, dude, that Connor Dewar, I just want to say one thing about Connor Dewar. Like, he's from a place called La Paz, up in Canada. He's Native American. He played in the WHL. He actually played out here for the Silvertips for 4 years. This kid, if you go on hockeyfights.com or whatever, this kid can throw. I mean, he's not the biggest guy. He's not a modern day like enforcer, but he's a guy kind of like a Colby Armstrong type guy. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's tough as nails. And if you look at his fights, the kid can throw them. If I were Trevor Zegras, what did they say? Check the game notes. Is that what they say on the Spit and Chicklets podcast? That famous story with Colby.
I think so.
Dude, careful. I mean, him being out there against that fourth line, and he's giving guys face washes and pulling helmets off. He might catch one in the chin, and it's not going to be pretty because I don't think he'll have any idea what's coming, especially with that Connor Dewar kid. So at the end, we'll get to that after we go through the scoring, man. But yeah, things got heated at the end of overtime there, and it brought a tear to my eye. It's honestly this is what you want out of the what do they call it? The Battle of the Keystone State.
But yeah, Battle of Pennsylvania.
Battle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's mostly the most common one. Yeah, at the end of overtime, again, most of the game was pretty calm. But after overtime, or after at the end of overtime, these all came at 5 minutes of overtime. Sidney Crosby misconduct actually came off the bench. Crosby's been dying for this, this rivalry to reignite. He's been dying for a heel on their side. But you have Sidney Crosby misconduct, Ryan Shea misconduct, Parker Wotherspoon misconduct, Trevor Zegras misconduct, Noah Chari misconduct, and then 3 for the Flyers: Tyson Forrester, Owen Tippett, and Jamie Drysdale misconduct. Basically, everybody that was on the ice at that time got a misconduct.
Go to the room.
Yeah. Trevor Zegras ripping helmets off players. But yeah, I mean, again, the guys named for the Flyers there are the young guys, the next generation that's going to be in this rivalry. Zegras, Forrester.
That Bobby Brink kid's kind of nasty.
Yeah, Brink didn't get a penalty here, but he did. He scored in regulation. He did. He scored their first goal, and then he scored the eventual game winner in the shootout on a very nasty move that kind of left Shelovs with no real good options. That eventually was the game winner after a stop by who was the goaltender on the other side tonight?
Urson. Samuel Urson, I believe.
Yeah, it was Sam. Yeah, it was Samuel Urson. A name that's been pretty familiar. So, but yeah, the goals. Justin Brazeau gets number 6 on the year. Insane season for Justin Brazeau. Yeah, I don't know what to really say at this point about Brazeau. The dude has just been out of his mind this season. Again, he's over halfway to his career best goal total of 11, and he did that in 76 games. He has 6 assists. He has 12 points. He only needs 10 more points to get a career high in points, and he has 70 games left to do that. The season he's had, and the goals are not cheap goals that he's scoring. They are dangles.
No.
They are beautiful backhands. They are, again, nothing he does makes any sense for a guy that's 6'7", but maybe he's just one of those players that, one, is a late developer, or two, just needed that opportunity. And again, do I think he's going to score 40? No, I don't think he's going to score 40. But to go out there, get thrown into the fire days before the season starts, and to turn into a piece that the Penguins have been so sorely missing, a guy that can throw the body and can score. It's not just a guy they are throwing out there in the bottom 6 to eat up 10 or 12 minutes a night. A dude that can throw the body, pass the puck, and score. That is, it's fantastic that he's in Pittsburgh. And I'm so glad that he's blossoming alongside Malkin and in that top 6 with the Penguins.
Yeah, man, I actually did a tiny bit of digging on Justin Brazeau because I wanted to know how a big forward like this, who's 6 foot, whatever. I don't want to say what you said because all I hear is what the kids are saying. The 6'7" thing.
7.
It's just, oh God, I hear you say 6'7" every time we talk about that line, and I just go, don't think it. But I wanted to know, with a guy who's got skill like this, and he's that big, how did he go he went undrafted, man. And you want to know what's even better? Kyle Dubas and the fellas up in Toronto let this guy go because he played with the Toronto Marlies for 3 years.
Okay.
When Dubas was there. And that would have meant the guy down. What's his name? Spezza.
Yep.
No disrespect to Spezza. I just blanked on the name there. It's not like he's a nobody, but yeah, he was in the Toronto Maple Leafs organization and was let go. And dude, this guy played. He actually went back to the ECHL, the East Coast Hockey League, for 18 games with the Maine Mariners. I mean, and it's not like he was. I mean, what do you have? 20 points in 18 games. That's pretty good. You know, he could score in the American League. He had 16 goals, 18 goals in 23, and then in 24. I don't know. I don't know why teams didn't give this guy more of a sniff. I don't know if it was maybe like in the NHL, he only has played for the Bruins and the Minnesota Wild, and the Bruins top six, middle six in those years was pretty fixed, right? Like you kind of had your guys there. The Minnesota Wild, an interesting team, man. They're kind of this team that has like maybe they have like one or two superstars. I mean, now they've kind of got more of those young prospects in there. Like they've got that Brock Faber kid who I think is going to be the next Drew Doughty. I don't think that's a hot take either. That kid's amazing. And they've got Zeev Buyem. They've got a couple good guys coming up, but the Minnesota Wild are like a very blue collar team. They don't really, and you put a guy like Justin Brazeau with like an Evgeny Malkin and Anthony Mantha, who's, you know, historically been a pretty good middle six, like support, like winger. I don't know. It's wild to me that teams have just let a guy like that go, kind of a unicorn. He's not tough. He's not going to fight, and he's not going to like, you know, knock you out with hits either. He's not going to be like a heat seeking missile, but he seems very comfortable in his frame. And if you watch him, Robbie, which I know you do, he knows how to use that big frame, and he knows his body to like, you know, keep to shield the puck. And the thing that makes him so nasty right now is those hands. Like, I don't know what it is. He could probably barely fit in a phone booth, but he could stick handle in a phone booth too, which is just unreal. So I don't know. The fact that this guy just kind of keeps chipping in and keeps scoring, if he can give you 20, 25 goals in the NHL, you know, I don't see why he can't be that. Like, you know, middle six guy, 20, 25 goals a year, be a good player. And he's not a liability out there either. You don't see him. I mean, it takes him 3 strides to catch a guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's just simply because his strides are like leaps for everybody else. Yeah, again, 6'7" guys, 6'7", should not be able to move like that. And again, he doesn't have to snipe. Like, he doesn't have to be a sniper. He just uses his edge, gets in tight, and you're not going to knock him off the puck without taking a penalty. And maybe everything he does is so deceptive to goaltenders, because you just don't expect like a power move like that and then him to roof one over your shoulder. But no, he's a horse of a player, and 6 goals through 12 games, 12 points. He's literally clicking off at a point per game pace this season so far. And yeah, maybe he just needed a break, and he got it. And credit to Dan Muse for moving him up the lineup when the injuries came before the season, and it's paid off in a big way. I thought that was going to be something where it was like, okay, he's until Brian Rust or whoever comes back, Brazeau is just going to be a placeholder. And he pretty much said that, listen, you can move me anywhere you want, but you're gonna regret it. I'm gonna play too good. I'm gonna play too good. And he has, and well-earned spot, and a well-earned good start to the season for Brazeau as he gets goal number 6 here against the Flyers.
I just looked too. I thought he was on a 1-year deal. They've got him locked up until 26, 27. So, I mean, if this guy, Pittsburgh could be really good for this guy's career, man. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see how this season goes and kind of see what we got over the next 2 years. But it's not like he's old too. You know, he's 27.
He's only 20. Yeah, he's only 27. He'll be 28 in February. But like, yeah, he's a young guy. Has played basically 2 or 3 full season. No, like 1 full season in the NHL so far, and that was last year. So yeah, he's basically just getting his feet wet in the NHL. So I think the more he learns, the more he sees the game, just the better he's going to get. And so far, the early returns are obviously A plus for what we've seen from Brazeau to this point.
100%, man. I couldn't agree more.
All right, so the Penguins they do lose this game 3-2 in a shootout. They at this point they are 7-2-2 with a game left in October, and the big thing at this point is at this point they had 7 games in a row with at least a point. Going back to the game in Los Angeles, they had won 4 in a row, and then lost in the shootout, won over St. Louis, and then lost in a shootout. So they get game 2 of the road trip on October 30th, Thursday night. The last game of October, game number 12 of the month. Tough to believe that we're already into November at this point, but they go in to Minnesota. Minnesota, again, we talked about them a little bit earlier here. A very blue collar team, but with a lot of skill at the positions it needs to be, and the Penguins go in here. They don't play a good first 20 minutes. A bad first period. They go down 1-0. As Kirill Kaprizov gets his 7th of the year. But for the final 40 minutes of this game, it was the Penguins and only the Penguins it looked like on the ice at times. I will say they did have a goal waved off in the first period. A bad call. It was just a flat out bad call.
Oh, dude, can we dig into this a little bit?
Yeah, we'll
because I thought I might be the only person who was like, they're not going to reverse that call. I was like, that was goalie interference. Like, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I had no faith they were going to overturn it because I know how goalie interference reviews go in the NHL, and I knew that Garrett Rank was the official on this, which is not a highly thought of official across the league. I had no faith they were going to overturn this at all. Everybody seemed like, again, should they have overturned it? Yeah, it shouldn't have been called no goal on the ice. If it would have been called a goal on the ice, like it should have been, I don't even know if Minnesota would challenge it. To be honest, I think that was one where there was one team that was going to challenge it, and it was the Penguins when they got screwed over. A call that can't be made. It was a bad call, and the Penguins should have had this game 1-1. And that's one of those moments where I'm like, man, this could be just one of those weird nights where that doesn't go their way and they just kind of lose interest and fall apart a little bit. But no, it was a bad call. Brazeau was clearly pushed into Gustafsson, and Gustafsson even had time to recover. Like, it wasn't he got bumped in and then the shot was like whizzing by.
It's not like the puck was going under his pad while he was moving him or something, you know?
And you have to take that into account. Like, you have to, if the goalie can regain possession of his crease and get back and put himself in play, that should be the play's over at that point. Like, that should be not a factor. There should be like a 5-second window where the goalie can reestablish himself, gain his crease, and get back in the game. That is not what happened here. He had plenty of time to get back on his skates, refocus, and play. And it was just a bad call. And it's not. And this is if this would have happened anywhere, it would have been a bad call. And even Wild fans online were like, "Wow, I can't believe they didn't overturn that."
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were like, "I can't believe that was not a goal." Like, it wasn't that he blah blah blah. It was okay. Wow, that was a really bad call. No, it's just, it can't happen. That call cannot be made in any situation because it's clearly not in the spirit of what the goalie interference rules are. Even though I had no faith they were going to actually overturn it in the Penguins' favor.
Yeah, I didn't think they should have challenged that just because I feel like, I mean, Robbie, the goalie interference, is that a coin flip, basically?
I think it's whatever's on the ice. There's just the role itself is just such a gray area. It's so interpretive that
because he did make contact with Gustafsson.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
But like you said, he actually had recovered, and the shot hadn't even come off Gino's stick yet. And it was Middleton who was the one who actually, I would say, interfered with his ability to block a shot.
Correct.
And when they were going to challenge that, when they took that timeout, I was like, I wouldn't even, they looked sleepy at the time. The Penguins looked kind of sleepy. I kind of had the same thought as you. I was like, ooh, they kind of look tired. this might be one of those games that just kind of gets away from them. But I think it almost kind of ignited them a bit. It got a little burr in the saddle of everybody, just the controversy of it. Dan Muse was heated. His
Oh yeah.
bald head turned a shade of pink. And I don't know, man. I thought that was I wouldn't have challenged it because it feels like a coin flip. I don't like you said, gray area. I don't really know what goalie interference really is, because you can make contact with the goalie 10 seconds before a shot comes, and if it knocks him off a little bit, even if he regains his crease and it goes in, the goalie's going to flip out and throw his glove in the air and say, "What the heck, man? I got bumped there." I don't know. Also, is that Garrett Rank guy? Isn't he the golfer?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Is that he has kind of a reputation, doesn't he?
He does, yes.
I don't know. I'm a little bit suspect of that guy. I think sometimes his mind's on the golf course a bit.
It was this night.
It was that night, and I saw there was a lot of widespread. I saw a lot of Penguins fans being furious with the guy. So I don't know. Interesting to see. And it's going to be tough every time that guy refs a game. Now it's going to that the Penguins are involved in. It's going to be ISO cam on the guy. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out the rest of the season with him. But the Wild do get the one goal, and then we get the one waved off. But Robbie, I mean, the Penguins after that, it was kind of domination, which I didn't see coming.
Yeah, all credit in the world to the Penguins to get through that period, and then just take over the game. It's been a long time since the Penguins have, even with the success this year, it's been a long time since the Penguins have just fully taken over the second half of a game, and they did exactly that. Ryan Shea has basically set career records and everything already this season, because he has his second goal of the season here, a nice snipe to tie it at 1, and that's where it remained through the second period. And then the final 20 may have been the Penguins, a classic Penguins third period, just a flat out, just all in dominant foot on the pedal the entire time. Brian Rust gets the eventual game winner on a play where he just straight up beats Brock Faber in front of goal, just bodies him and taps, just a tap in on a pass from Ryan Shea, who again is having a fantastic season. That makes it 2-1. About a minute later on the power play, Benny Kindle, the kid, Ben the Kid is what we'll call him.
Or what are they're calling him Kid Kindy.
Kid Kindy, yeah, that's okay. Young Phil is what we'll call him.
Young Phil.
Get some top power play time.
I love to see it too, man.
Yeah,
I've been waiting to
absolutely.
see him on that top unit, and I want to get this in before you just, dude. I remember when they drafted this kid, you brought up that there was a scout out there. There was someone who said that this guy's, think of like a Braden Point. He was in that bumper position on the power play where Braden Point makes his money. And I saw him out there and I was like, oh boy, I kind of see it. I kind of see the Braden Point like comparison there, which gets me fucking excited, man. Like that's cool to see. And the 81 looks good on him. Getting some time with the big fellas.
Yeah, he just got into that position. The puck was just there. He got a stick on it, rifled it home, past Gustafsson. It's 3-1 at this point. It felt really good. The Penguins were just absolutely flat out dominating in this game at this point. Anthony Mantha gets an empty netter to seal it. The Penguins get a 4-1 win, and if the Flyers game was 7 games in a row with a point, that means this is now 8 games a row with a point. They've won 6 of 8 of those 8 games. I mean, they're just, man, nobody predicted this is how October was going to go. And I saw the stat today. 34 teams in NHL history have ended October 8-2-2. 33 made the playoffs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's looking very optimistic for the Penguins. And, you know, I think that it's tough when you're going year after year watching the Penguins kind of fall into mediocrity. Things were stale, stagnant, whatever term you want to use with kind of the Sullivan and Sid and the boys era, whatever we were kind of going through there. But I'll say it again, man. We kind of talked about it earlier in the year before they kind of were before they were rolling like this. And it's like the difference between just like a what you might deem like a mid roster and a playoff team with the way that the league is right now and how it's kind of watered down. It's not super black and white like it used to be. You know what I mean? Like every team kind of has a few guys that are exceptional or above average, and then it's a bunch of kind of mid, and then you've got your kind of muckers and grinders. And I don't know. I just think when you look at the Penguins roster at the beginning of the year, I was kind of, I mean, we were both kind of on the same page. It's like, I mean, is this a playoff team if they get good goaltending and their coaching can kind of step in and change things and freshen things up? Or is this a tank for McKenna team? Like, I have no idea. But I think over the last couple of years with how things were with Sullivan or whatever, I mean, you've got Sid who's still clicking at an amazing rate. We did not see Malkin coming out of the gates this hot, though, I will say. Yeah. And Carlson and Letang, I would say last year were detriments to your team, and as opposed to being, players that help get you wins, get you dubs. This year, Malkin, well, he keeps jockeying for lead league and assists and points. Letang and Carlson have been far more defensively sound, and the offense has been there. I've been seeing, I mean, Carlson and Letang are killing penalties out there a little bit. They're getting more ice time. They've got a little bit more responsibility on their shoulders. And then you've got no one saw Ben Kindle making an impact like this. No one saw Brazeau make an impact like this. Anthony Mantha's coming off a year where he had his ACL repaired. Like this was a shot in the dark for Anthony Mantha. You know what I mean? Like who knew what you were going to get from him? But everything's kind of come together as it kind of should. Like everyone's kind of been production-wise kind of what they were expected to kind of be. I'm not going to even say over exceeding. Everyone's kind of just been their average, and the Penguins are it's safe to say they're rolling, man.
I mean, yeah, rolling is probably the best way to put it. The goaltending, finally, just competent goal. Like,
do you want to say it yet? Do you want to say is Jari back?
No, I need to see if they
get
to.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, 12 games. He's only played in 6 of the 12 games. Maybe this is just what they just keep rolling the every other game. Just let those guys play. Like, and I think you're seeing it now. Like, there's no pressure on this team. Like,
true,
you weren't supposed to be good. You far exceeded anybody's expectations through the first month. You're over an eighth of the way into the season. You have a trip to Sweden coming up. Let's enjoy it. It just finally, like, they're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch.
They're just fun to watch. Again, I've mentioned it multiple times this season on the recaps already. So much of the last couple seasons was just a slog, especially last season. They just got to the point where it's not enjoyable to watch. It's fundamentally a broken team.
It was, man.
You had Crosby doing what Crosby does all the time. Yeah, you had Russ and Raquel hitting career highs, but so much of it was just not fun to watch. Those guys only play like 18 minutes a night. Like, I can't watch a hockey game where 18 minutes are fun.
If that.
Yeah.
It's not even that they were fun. It was just maybe something will happen.
Yeah. This year, it's like, okay, Crosby's still very good. Malkin is vastly outperforming what we expected. The kid that was drafted 11th overall, like, no, like, that doesn't happen. What Ben Kindle is doing does not happen this quickly.
No.
We finally get Brunicky. Erik Karlsson looks like maybe Erik Karlsson just loathed Mike Sullivan to the point where he was just quiet quitting on every shift.
Well, I mean, Erik Karlsson in Philadelphia, that one goal that they scored, he quit. Like, his controller died. And then he smashed his stick over the crossbar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what that guy is thinking out there. And you have to think that some of his teammates watch him from the bench and go, did he just, like, stop playing? Or, like, what the hell was that? This guy's been in the NHL for a decade. Anyways, yeah. I mean, Karlsson, I remember when they brought him in, man, and we talked about it on this podcast. We talked about it, and Sullivan said, we're going to put him in in a position where we're like in a position to succeed. We're gonna kind of, and I just remember thinking like, dude, that's not Carlson's game. Like, you can't put him in a box and be like, your one route is going to be pinching down the wall and getting back on the back check. Like, that's not Carlson's game. That's what they had him doing. Yeah, I think Dan Muse has been like, you want ice time, you're going to be killing penalties. You got to be good at it. You're gonna get power play time, obviously. 5-on-5, you've got to be responsible. But we're not gonna. You see Carlson, he's roaming all over the ice now. He's giving him his leash, but he's like, dude, you got to do these things for me. Carlson is re-energized and reinvigorated this year, undoubtedly.
Absolutely. Just it looks like a completely different player. Like Erik Karlsson offensively, you know what you're getting from him offensively. But it just looks like he's so much more engaged. It seems like maybe he just loathed Mike Sullivan that much. And again, Mike Sullivan, great coach. There's definitely like times where you could tell when he did not like a player. Ian Cole comes to mind in that. A couple other, they just.
Did you say Ian Cole?
Yeah, I don't think Ian Cole ever got along.
Yeah, two-time Cup champ though.
Yeah, despite being very good for the Penguins, like him again, it's just maybe it's a personality thing. Mike Sullivan.
I think I've heard Ian Cole kind of has a reputation. I've heard through different media outlets that guy.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
It's fine, but he was a good third pairing guy. But that's funny you bring him up. That him and I wasn't expecting that.
Again,
I was going to say like him and Daniel Sprong.
Well, I think Sprong rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I think Sprong really thought he was going to come in and just.
He thought he was going to be a superstar, man.
Yeah, and
but look at him. He can put up 20 goals a year on fourth line minutes, but he's in Russia now.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about. But like,
who else did Sullivan have a hate on for? Now that we're on the topic,
I think him and Kessel rubbed. Again, Kessel was obviously a superstar, so it worked. But like, look at the end, Kessel had kind of much. It just stopped working in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, true.
I think Kessel is a guy. I think him and Kessel probably didn't get along. I don't know if him and Jari really got along. I feel like he threw Jari under the bus more than a time or two.
It was hard not to. Man.
I know. Yeah, but like you're the head coach. Like, yeah, I understand that it's.
He definitely wasn't out there sticking up for his goalie, though.
No, he would not put his neck on the line. And I think Mike Sullivan would be a great guy to have like a stogie and a beer with.
Oh,
but I could see like his personality clashing with certain people as well. Like I just think that it would just not work all the time. Where Dan Muse, again, he's only been here for 12 games, but he seems much more down to earth. And again, he's walking into a locker room, an NHL locker room as a head coach for the first time. And that locker room is not just young guys on the up and up. This is a locker room with absolute future like 3 or 4
Hall of Fame locks. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's completely owned the first 12 games, like home runs. If you're grading Dan Muse through 12 games, you can't give him enough pluses after the A. Like he's completely just, and again, I know, obviously now in retrospect, you understand why Mitch Love wasn't the hire. But like
dodged a bullet there, man. That's the last thing the Penguins would need if they were on like a streak this.
I can imagine if they would have hired, and then all that would have like what that would have done. That would have completely wrecked the season before we even dropped the puck. But
that had to be why he didn't land a head coaching
I'd say
job.
that stuff everybody knows, and behind the scenes, everybody knows everything in the NHL and professional sports in general. Everybody knew something was up. But even like we didn't know that at the time, but Kyle Dubas A+ hire, and then filling out the staff with going and getting Todd Nelson, who many thought was going to be the guy that they were going to hire as the head coach, going out and getting, I think it's Mike Suthers, who's been around the league and is highly respected. And
he's running the D, man, and he's making an impact. I like that guy.
Yeah, and then bringing in Todd Nelson's running the power play, which has been very good this season. And then they bring in Bonino as kind of we'll call him the glue guy, I guess. I don't know what his exact role is, but maybe Dan Muse just figured he needed another bald guy on the bench.
He needed another bald guy. And he
people
needed
fly
a
the
link,
flowers.
from those veterans to
Yeah,
the youth.
it's
Like,
really weird seeing Bonino behind a bench now. Like, it's very weird seeing Nick Bonino in a coaching role because I don't want to pretend the Cups were that long ago. Like, it feels like he just won a cup yesterday with the Penguins. Like,
it's been
he
a while, man.
should be coaching yet, but no, Bonino has been fantastic. You can see like how much they respect Bonino, the young guys and the older guys, even like Crosby and stuff, because he's technically younger than Crosby and Malkin. Like,
Yeah, he is,
he's
which is funny.
he's not even 38 yet, but there's a huge amount of respect. I think throughout the Penguins organization um, for Nick Bonino for what he did in Pittsburgh, and then Malkin and Crosby, and then his effect on working with guys like Kindle and Runnick and all those young guys as well. But no, the whole staff. I even said back when they hired Muse, I think can be a great head coach, but the most important part is going to be who's on the staff.
Yep.
And everything we've seen so far with the coaching staff from Muse to Bonino has been perfect for what this team wants to do and what the team has to do. They've simplified the defense. The power play is working. All the lines are clicking. Even like we've been so hard on Noah Chari has been
Yep, I have to.
good this season. Connor Dewar brought in last year, great signing. Ryan Shea, great signing. Ryan Shea's going to score like Ryan Shea might put up like 20, 25 points this year the way he's playing.
I know, which he wasn't. He was a flyer, man. Like, not a Philadelphia Flyer. He was a flyer waiver pickup. You know what
And
I mean?
again,
Like,
that him playing like that does a lot to offset the offensive production they lost and letting Grzelcyk walk. Like we talked about Grzelcyk, 40 points last year. That's not something you just easily replace on the blue line.
no, but too much of the same with the Penguins, man. You got puck movers, you got offensive guys that don't play defense.
Yeah, and then to have
Hey, maybe Grzelcyk might be one of those guys that I don't know if Sullivan necessarily loved him.
Well, he never played defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, his defense, he was like completely defense optional, mostly off, more than on. But Ryan Parker Wotherspoon, I think, is the perfect Marcus Pettersson replacement, down to the number.
Yeah, I did not see that happening either.
No, I thought he could be very solid. I thought he'd be a third pairing guy. He fits Erik Karlsson perfectly, which is he is kind of like they are the maybe a slightly older version of what Letang and Dumoulin were so far.
Kind of getting those vibes for sure. And I was going to ask you, Robbie, Owen Pickering's been in the lineup the last couple of nights, and you know what he's been doing? You haven't been hearing the guy's name, which we talked about. We were like, off the glass and out, chip it into center ice, get it out of your zone, just be a quiet defenseman. And he's been doing exactly that, man.
He has so far, and he is going to be today at practice. He was working with Harrison Brunnick, so we could see that pairing tomorrow night or tomorrow.
Curious about that pairing, man, because I mean, I think we came into the season thinking that's the future.
Yeah, and it looks like if what we saw at practice today is what we're going to see tonight, then we're going to see the debut of what is essentially the blue line future, hopefully, with Pickering and Brunnick. It seems like Brunnick again. Ben Kindle played Game 10 last night. That first year, the entry level contract is now in effect. What I understand is if there is another deadline, it's 40 games, not 40 games played, just 40 games on the roster that would kick in, would initiate when his unrestricted free agency starts. So there is that as well. That's not until the new year. If they would choose to do that, if he would start to struggle and they want to send him back, that's an option. The entry level contract, we've said it before, it doesn't mean much at this point. They have the money. They're going to have cap space whenever that deal is ready to be renewed. That's no big deal whatsoever. So that was never, I don't think, really a question. Now it's just to see how Kindle and Brunnick can you continue to develop as the body takes a little more wear and tear as we go through November and December here. But right now, especially with Kindle, I mean, there's two guys out of this draft that are playing NHL regular minutes. That is Matthew Schaefer, the number 1 overall pick. I guess Michael Misa is too. Yeah. Michael Misa did score his first career goal the other night. And then Ben Kindle. everything he does, and again, this is the first player since Jordan Stahl that the Penguins gave this opportunity and ran with it. And Stahl was the number 2 overall pick. Like Kindle, an 11th overall pick, still needs to fill out his size. And it should be noted that Kindle is not only playing well on in the box score. That line of him with Tommy Novak and was it Allender are literally ripping up opponents, just tearing them.
Yeah, it's either Hollander or Koivunen.
It's been Koivunen since the call up. They have been absolutely shredding and burying other teams. Their shifts have changed games. And
yeah, they're not a detriment, that's for sure.
No, and they took over the game last night against Minnesota. And again, we're going to run out of maybe create some new adjectives for Ben Kindle here at some point. But I mean, I don't know how, if you're not impressed with Ben Kindle, then we're watching 2 different games.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd be trying to pick apart with that kid's game at this point, and I'm hearing nothing negative about him online, at least at the moment. And he's not looking like he's trying to. It's not like he's like. It doesn't look like he doesn't belong. He's so smart, dude. Every time he always knows where the puck's going. It seems like he's like that goal on the power play, man. Like it's not like it was a perfect little tic-tac-toe pass to him from behind the net and he buries it. I mean, he sniffed out the puck and he's been doing that. I've been noticing that since he's been up with the club. Like it just seems that he's a smart guy. The IQ is always on display with the kid. And I don't know, man. I don't think at first it was. You're like, oh man, do they send him back down? Like this big decision's coming up. But after he played his, he played a handful of games. It was obvious. It's like, dude, just burn the ELC and keep this kid up with the team. And they're clearly going to do that. Brunick got his second scratch in a row last night. I don't think that necessarily means anything with him getting sent down. I don't think he's been exploited in any way that makes you worry. Contrary to Ben Kindle, I don't think Brunick's necessarily in any sort of trouble or anything.
No.
What do you think is going to be going on here they have too many right D though. Like that's just obvious. They had Dumba playing last night. Yeah. They've got Connor Clifton. Those guys can be sent down to the AHL. I mean, if they have to be put on waivers, I don't know if that's necessarily something that Dubas and company are super worried about.
Nah.
Them getting through waivers. Part of me almost wondered, and I like Dumba as a piece for the Penguins right now. Like I think he brings that physicality that they kind of need. He kind of can be a penalty machine out there, but part of me is wondering if they're giving him a little bit of time to see if they're almost like shopping him. Like I wonder if there's teams that maybe are looking at their defense and being like, we could use a little bit of sandpaper. Maybe it's just the Wild. Maybe playing the Minnesota Wild, they're a blue-collar team. They've got some tougher guys. And it's also Dumba's old team too. So I was like, maybe I don't know what it was, but not going to think too much about it, right? You're not concerned about Brunick either. You think it's the same with Kindle, kind of the same scenario?
Yeah, I would agree with you there, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Is what it is with the people are just going to have to understand that these kids are here to stay, I think, unless barring a major, the bottom just falling out. But these kids, they don't look out of sorts. They're contributing, and honestly, they're kind of like you said in their respective, like that third line is torching teams at times. Like you can see the energy, the legs, the IQs there. I mean, they're a handful, man, a lot to handle.
Yeah, but the Penguins, they get another win number 8 on the season. They close out October at 8-2-2. They have points in 8 straight. As of right now, they are the best team in hockey. They have more points than literally any other team in the NHL. The first time they've done that since December of 2016. And I do not think this would have been the team I would have guessed to break that streak for the Penguins. But no, they clean up against Minnesota. Now they have a Saturday afternoon game in Winnipeg. That's a 3:00 Eastern start, noon on the West Coast. I believe 1 or 2 o'clock in Winnipeg if the time zones are right. And please don't forget to set back your clocks on Saturday or Sunday
Oh
night.
yeah, fall back an hour.
Saturday night into Sunday morning. Anymore, most clocks change on their own. I don't know outside of maybe an oven or a microwave.
It's the oven and the microwaves, man.
Yeah, my car does it itself. My watch does it itself. My iPhone does it itself. My computer obviously does it itself. But yeah, do that. And now I don't really have anything else.
I don't really either, man, but I will tease that we do have
a guest.
We have a guest coming on Monday, and it is a guy we're all familiar with. I suggest everyone tune in for Monday's episode because you're not going to want to miss it.
Yeah, and with the game being tomorrow afternoon on Saturday, we'll probably just combine Saturday's recap with Monday's recap. They do play Toronto on Monday. So Brian Hayes will get a close look at Sydney. This is a Penguins podcast and a Brian Hayes hater podcast. If you can't tell,
it absolutely is, man.
Yeah. So, we'll combine those two recaps. We'll be back on Monday. Maybe if we get some mailbag questions, we'll throw that in, especially with the guest coming on. But the guest is a well-known entity that you guys will be happy to hear him talk. So make sure you guys tune in when that goes live. But Snell, if you have nothing else, I have nothing else.
Let's get this Halloween. This is Halloween. Let's get Halloween festivities rolling. Let's dig into the candy.
I'm going to make this live as soon as it uploads, so no delay until tomorrow. You can listen to it as soon as you want to. Halloween or open your November with us here at the Skating Penguin Network. But if you are listening on Halloween, be safe, be smart. We'll talk to you guys next week when we're back at it.